Welcome to the Wealth and Wellness All Women Rock podcast, hosted by me, Tamara, the CEO and founder of All Women Rock Global. Join me on this journey as we explore topics, conversations, and interviews related to wealth and wellness. Let's get started. Hey girl, hey, welcome to episode number 12 of the Wealth and Wellness All Women Rock podcast. I'm so excited to have you guys joining me on today. And on today, we're going to be talking about why I believe vision boards do not work and what you can do instead. Before we get started, I just wanted to say a rest in heaven to a rapper that was killed here in Memphis, Young Dolph. I vaguely listened to his music, but after he passed away, I began to learn more about him. And I know a lot of our ladies that listen to our podcast from Memphis Women Rock will probably be a little bit more familiar with it, but I do know he was worldwide known. But I just began to listen to certain songs that he had and just listen to his lyrics. And it was just like, he had a lot of insight. A lot of entrepreneur spirit that I learned about him. He did a lot for the city of Memphis. And sometimes we just kind of tend to look at people and misjudge them based on what we see or maybe what we see in a video. So I just wanted to say a rest in heaven to him and condolences to him and his family during this time. But rest in heaven, Dolph, as they say, long live Dolph. So let's go ahead and get started with today's episode. Before you get upset, I know some people are probably like, why vision boards do not work? What type of episode is this? But before you get upset and think this is a negative episode because you left a vision board party or you're planning one for 2022, I just want to share my insight. Don't leave yet, Linda. I want you to listen, Linda. I want to share with you why I believe that it does not work and give you some real strategies and content on how you can make your party, maybe if you're having a vision board party, how you can spruce it up, make it better, or just how you can plan better for 2022. That's just my opinion, but I just don't believe creating a vision board and just that's it will work. I do not believe in that. I do believe in abundance. I do believe in manifestation. I do believe in God. I do believe in having faith. And just being able to say things and, I believe in manifestation and saying things and also putting action behind those words. So let me change that. Recently, my family had a vision board party. I couldn't attend because I was out of town. If I was there, I don't think that I would have went or contributed like they possibly would have wanted me to, because I just personally don't believe creating a vision board is productive for an entrepreneur. And that's my insight. I love them and I help them with whatever they may need. I could have had plenty of magazines I could have offered, but I just, as an entrepreneur, I just don't see the purpose behind it. But here are 3 reasons I believe taking pictures and quotes out of a magazine and putting them on a poster board does not work. I struggle with this first one because I didn't want to sound offensive, but sis, I can't sugarcoat it. So as we say it from the South, I don't want to sugarcoat it for anyone. Okay, number 1, do you really think putting $1 million mansion, a husband, a Rolex, a Gucci bag, or whatever else on a poster board every day, or you're on social media reposting stuff not related to your business, just liking and screenshotting stuff, taking up unnecessary time on your phone is going to get you closer to that mansion? Do you really think that? Do you really think just putting it on there is going to get you closer? I've heard so many people say, oh, I love vision boards and I put this on there, I put that on there. But did you give them the strategy that you use to achieve those things? Some people don't have access to that. They think that just putting certain little pretty pictures on a poster board, it'll just fall in their lap on tomorrow. And sis, that's not life. We all know that it's not how it works. There has to be a strategy put in place in order for your vision board to come to life. And sometimes we don't realize the things that we're doing each and every day kind of contributes to us not having those things, myself included. Do you think watching every episode of Housewives, BMF, Ghost all day long will get you closer? Will they get you closer to that mansion? Do you think working on your business 1 hour a month will get you that Rolex watch? You have to have an actual strategy in place in order for these things to come to life. Number 2, what purpose are you serving just looking at a poster board? I believe in the power of prayer, and I believe in the Bible, and faith without works is dead. What are you putting into place to make sure that this vision board comes to life? For me personally, I just think a vision board is a time waster. I would rather write out what I want to accomplish for the year, for the month, whatever. I'm going to go into more detail with this episode, but just taking time as if I'm in elementary school and putting pictures on a board, that does not work for me. If that works for you, that's fine. But if it doesn't, I want to share with you some strategies that I have been using in my business and I'm going to continue to use for 2022 that might be helpful for you instead of just putting pictures on a poster board. Number 3, you have no effective plan in place to carry out what you put on that board. No plan in place to carry out what you put on that board. It's cute to do that, to go to a vision board party, to put all these pretty pictures on there, girl boss, overachiever, all this stuff you want to achieve. But what happens after that? After you went home and got this big hoorah, you're motivated, what plan do you have in place to make this work? What things are you willing to give up in order to put in the time you need to get that? What does that look like? So I wouldn't dare, for me personally, I'm not going to give you a vision board party. I do plenty of events, but I will not give you a vision board party without giving you a proper plan to go along with it. We all need that. Sometimes when we attend these vision board parties, we eat, drink, show off stuff we want to put on there. Why? We want to achieve it. Have these speakers at these events. Get these people all hyped up to go home, hang it on their wall, and nothing to do with it. Absolutely nothing. No plan in place. Nothing to do with it. As an event planner, I would never make you pay money for just some fluff. Not like that. Not like that. We have cocktails and conversations, but that's like a casual drinking type of event. But I'm going to have you come bring paper, pencils, glue, and all that. Like, no, it's time out for that. To be honest, with this strategy, it can be depressing. Who wants to look at something daily? They haven't been given the necessary tools to help them get there. Who wants to do that? You just taking up space in your home. Now, I love to see people that have like if you got the vision board and you need that to help you stay motivated, that's fine. But sis, you need a strategy in place. I love to see people that have like their home office decorated with different girl boss words or different motivational things to kind of help you stay motivated. But is that just for show, or do you actually have a plan to help you achieve success in your business? Do you have a plan? It's cute for the new year because our adrenaline is high. At the beginning of the new year, we are happy. We have made one more year. It's truly a blessing within itself. So many people are just so excited for the new year. Hey, I'm going to do this. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to work on this in my business. I'm going to achieve this. I'm going to achieve that. But what does that plan look like? By March, sometimes our momentum is gone. We have to stop that. So today, I don't want you to spend another dime on a poster board, a glue stick, piece of tape, thumbtack, whatever, if we do not have a strategy in place to make it work. So here, I want you to do this instead. And press pause if you need to. Go get you a pen and paper. But everything will be listed in the show notes, and I will also list it on the All Women Rock blog. We're not doing this in 2022. We're not just creating poster boards. We're going to have an effective plan in place to help us achieve the success that we desire in our business. Number 1, decide right now what is your preferred way to stay motivated, gain insight, or instruction. Do you prefer audio? Do you like listening to podcasts? Do you prefer visual? Do you prefer YouTube, or both? What's your preferred way to stay motivated? What helps you within your business? For instance, are there certain YouTube people that you absolutely love? Do you love, for me, I love watching Marie Forleo. I love to watch her YouTube videos. I love to listen to Amy Porterfield podcast. I love to listen to How I Built This by Guy Raz podcast. What helps you stay motivated? What lessons do you learn? Like, ooh, I could use that within my business. What does that look like for you? If you're saying, Tamara, this doesn't make sense, why am I doing this first? Because by month 3, when your momentum is gone or it's dwindling down, I need you to stay motivated. What helps you stay motivated? That's what we need. Find 2 to 3 people or an organization you can listen to at least once or twice a week, preferred twice a week. But I know some of our sisters love to have excuses as why they can't do something. So once a week, if that's all you can attribute to. These need to be successful business owners related to your business, motivational or, educational content about entrepreneurship. If I were you, I would subscribe to the Wealth and Wellness podcast, but just throwing that out there. 2 to 3 audio or visual influencers, business owners, whatever you want to call them. Make a list now of 2 to 3 people. You can say, hey, I want to do 2 audio, 1 visual. What works best for you? Because everything does not work best for everyone. Some people don't like a podcast. What gets your adrenaline going for your business? Are you looking at something on YouTube? Is there an influencer you love? Is there a business owner that's always putting out content once a week? Do you love Tony Robbins? Who is it? What is it? Use that because you're going to need that to stay focused and stay motivated to keep your adrenaline going like, hey, I got this. For me, let me give you my example. Marie Forleo, as I stated, she has both audio and visual, but I like to watch her videos. Her videos are very funny. They're very unique on YouTube. I use her videos to help me stay motivated and to gain insight and content like, hey, this is what I need to do for my mind, for my business to drive it further. I also love listening to Eric E.T. the Preacher. I like to follow him on both Instagram and Facebook. Amy Porterfield is another one. As I stated, that's a huge one that I love to listen to. I love to listen to her. I'm not sure if she's on video, but I know for sure she's on audio. I love to listen to her podcast. She has a lot of great content about marketing, online marketing. Being able to listen to her and to gain insight like, ooh, I could use this right now. Let me see how this can be implemented within my business. That gets my adrenaline going. When she's talking about sharing success stories or possibly talking about something that could be used within my business that I can stop the podcast and immediately go in and start putting those steps in my business. That keeps me going. The next one that I love is How I Built This by Guy Raz. This is a podcast. This podcast shares some millionaires, different billionaires, people that have built businesses that we use daily in our lives. He's done an interview with the guys that built Instagram. These are some of my favorite episodes. The guys that built Instagram. The lady that started Chicken Salad Chick. I mean, he takes you from the beginning to the end. You get to hear their hurdles, different things that they were able to gain insight on, what worked in their business, what didn't work. One of the other one that I love was the lady that did Take Cookies. I recently listened to this one. This was a great episode of how she started her business as a young child and was able to transform it. She was able to sell it at like 100 million at the age of 55. That was a goal for her. I love to listen to those stories because it takes you from the beginning to the end. And you get to hear what worked for their business and what did not work. So those are my top 3. I want you to make a list of your 3. What is your 3? What is your 3 that you can use and start implementing within your business? Let me add a little note. I want to add this. You know how we have a thought and never come back to something, but let's just add a sticky note. It's cute to put motivational quotes words, like I said, sayings on our boards. Girl boss, boss babe, you got this. By all means, that is fine. But what strategy do you have in place? Use those if you need them. But what strategies do you have in place? None of that helps us in any way if we are not willing to put in the work to make it happen. Or when our business does not go as planned, we can look at those little cute little reminders. Hey, you got this, girl. The next couple of exercises that I am going to share with you are from two of my favorite productivity books. The first one is Atomic Habits by James Clear. The second one is The 12-Week Year by Brian P. Moran. The links will be listed in the show notes as well if you're interested after this episode going to purchase one of these books. So the first one that you might hear some paper shuffling because I have the books, and when I read, I typically take notes. I'm jotting down ideas. So I have my books. I have sticky notes. So I gained a lot of insight for my business through these books. So I want to be able to share them with you guys as well. So the first one that we're going to start with is Atomic Habits. We're going to learn how to change up some of those habits that we have and be more productive. I am going to be sharing with you different tips. So I might be reading a little bit from the book, but I'm also going to kind of talk you through certain things. But so if you have not read this book, the first one is Atomic Habits by James Clear. Atomic Habits by James Clear. It is a book that I have been trying to read for the longest. And I finally got the opportunity to read it in 2021. And one thing that he mentioned in the book that I found very profound was goals are good for setting a direction. Systems are best for making progress. Fall in love with the process. Goals are good for setting a direction. Systems are best for making progress. Fall in love with the process. As I stated, I'm not going to go through the entire book, but I do want to share some tips that can help you change and create more productive habits. Atomic Habits is being able to change different things that you're doing now to create more productive habits as an entrepreneur. Now, for the first thing one of the first things that kind of was an eye-opener for me that I want you to do for your business is to begin with behavior change. We start off by being awareness. Recognize the habits and the cues that trigger them. Recognize the habits and the cues that trigger them. What habits do you have? I want you to personally think about that. What habits do you have? Are you watching TV too much? What is it? And what's triggering those? Recognize the cues that trigger those. We need to become aware. So we can create a vision board, but we got to stay motivated. And now we're becoming more aware of our habits. Because we can't, as I stated, create a vision board, create systems. Have the structure in place, but nothing is working. In order to be successful, we're going to have to start being aware. What habits do we have? What habits do we need to get rid of? We often don't think about that. What habits do we need to get rid of? The next thing that he mentioned was time and location. For instance, you say, I will write a chapter of my book at 2 p.m. at this location. For instance, okay, I will write a chapter of my book at 2 p.m. in my living room. Sometimes we have to change our scenery. That's where we're getting at. Sometimes we have to change the scenery. Change where we are. For me, working from home, typically when I record my episodes, I like to do it in a different area. I don't like to be in one area for so long and then do something else in that same area. I have to change up my scenery. Change up where you are. Do something different. Your atmosphere makes a huge difference. I used to go to Starbucks. I know that doesn't work for everyone because there are a lot of distractions there, but for me, it worked. I would put my earphones on and zone out and be able just to focus in on what I was there for. But can you change up your scenery? Can you go in a different room and start working? If you say, hey, I will create 2 social media posts at 7 p.m. in my dining room. Because sometimes we have distractions in the locations that we're in. For instance, sitting on the living room, what do we normally attribute that to? Watching TV, right? So will you actually be productive working on your business, the TV on, kids in the living room? You have so many distractions. Change up your scenery. Change up your scenery. Change it up. Be specific about what you want and how you will achieve it. It helps you say no to things that derail you. This is one thing he mentioned in the book that I found was very profound. Give your habits time and space to live in the world. Give those productive habits that you want to achieve, things that you want to achieve, you want to work on within your business. Give your habits time and space to live in the world. The next one that I wanted to share with you that could be helpful is habit stacking. After my current habit, I will. You might not recognize it, but we currently all have habits. We all have systems, whether they're systems that we created for ourselves or ones that were implemented to us from birth or from our family, traditions. For instance, you say, I don't have any habits. We all have them. When you get up in the morning, what do we normally do? We get up, we go wash our face, brush our teeth, take showers, get ready for the day. That's a habit. Whatever you want to call it, ritual, whatever. It's a system that you have done each and every day. That's a habit. So habit stacking is basically taking something that you are currently doing and putting a new habit right behind it. That's what habit stacking is. Taking a current habit and putting another habit right behind it. After I read my morning devotion, I will work on my business for 20 minutes. The current habit is already in place. You're just taking another habit and putting it on there. Okay, let me give you another example for those that love vision boards. You have on your vision board that you want to make $10,000 per month within your business. But your habits kind of suck. So you want to do a different habit. You don't work on your business. Okay. In the morning, after I get up and get ready, I will work on sales calls. I will work on send an email blast out to let people know about my new online course. Take your current habit and habit stack something else on top of it. You already do it. That system is already in place. Just put something else behind it. For those that say, hey, Tim, I don't have time to do that in the evening. In the morning. I don't have time for that. Let's try the evening. What can we do? For instance, if you're about to wind down for the evening and you've already got everything in place and you're about to wind down and you say, I want to read more. We all go to sleep. So once you're winding down, you go and pick up a book and say, hey, I'm going to read 2 pages per day. That current habit is already in place. You're just habit stacking with something else behind it. Put an alarm on your phone because you'd be like, I forgot to. The reason I give so many excuses because I get them a lot. And hey, I might even do them myself. But I hear a lot of excuses from a lot of women as to why they can't achieve their goals or achieve success because of, I can't do this because of that. I can't do this because of that. So I always like to list out you guys' excuses so you cannot use that as a barrier as to why you can't achieve something. I always want to give you a strategy in place, not just say something to you. I want to give you something that you can use that can be helpful to you. If the morning is too hectic, you have a 9 to 5, I don't have time in the morning, in the evening. And for those of us that still like to say, I don't have time in the evening, the weekend. What do you do on the weekend? How can you habit stack on the weekend? Put an alarm on your phone. Okay, you typically wind down around what whatever that time may be, 9, 10 o'clock. Put an alarm in your phone. Hey, read 2 pages. Send out an email blast, whatever that may be. Habit stack. Okay, now for our goals, our dreams, whatever you have given them. The next steps that I want to share with you are from the 12-week year by Brian P. Moran. I will list, as I stated, the books in the show notes. These are not affiliate links. There's no money that will be given to me from sharing these links with you. He starts the book off by suggesting to get rid of your annualized thinking. Getting rid of your annualized thinking. Because for so many of us at the beginning of the year, we say, hey, I'm going to achieve this. I'm going to work on this. We have all these things that we're going to create for the year. But he teaches us how to get rid of our annualized thinking. And I found that to be very profound. He says, at the heart of annualized thinking is an unspoken belief that there is plenty of time in a year to make things happen in January. December looks a long way off. Think about it. At the beginning of the year with big goals, but the end of January, we usually find ourselves slightly behind where we need to be. While we certainly are not pleased, we're not worried either, because we think to ourselves, I've got plenty of time. I got 11 more months to catch up. At the end of March, we're still behind. But again, we're not too worried because we think we got plenty more time to catch up. It's not working, sis. It's not working. Annualized thinking and planning more often leads to less optimal performance. In order to perform at your best, you will need to get out of your annual mode and screw up your annualized thinking. Stop thinking in terms of a year and start focusing on shorter time frames. And he teaches you this in this book, how to start thinking about smaller time frames. The annual execution cycle blinds people to the reality that life is in the moment and that ultimately success is created in the moment. At this point, some people might argue that almost every organization operates this way, and many of them hit their goals and make their plan. He says, I would argue back that making this plan does not mean that they are accomplishing what they're capable of. We've had successful organizations increase their results by 50% in just 12 short weeks. In one example, we helped a $1 billion brokerage operation double its sales productivity in 6 months. That's not possible and operate an annual execution cycle. However, organizations or individuals they will perform better in a non-annualized environment. So discard the annualized thinking and watch what happens. A lot of organizations that I've worked for in the past, they typically, set that big goal, but they work on achieving it within 3-month time span, like our quarterly thinking from January to March. That is what he teaches you in this book. How to stop looking at it long term and just create some 12 short weeks. So the way I think is beneficial for a lot of us, because we get the opportunity to kind of see things from a shorter time frame than looking at it from a year perspective. He states in the book, every 12 weeks you take a break, celebrate, and reload. It might be a 3-day weekend or a week-long vacation. The important thing is that you take time to reflect, regroup, and re-energize. So it's just taking things from a shorter time frame. And I wanted to mention the 12-week year creates a greater focus by highlighting the value of each week. Listen to this. With a 12-week year, a year is now equivalent to 12 weeks. A month is now a week, and a week is now a day. Let that marinate for a minute. With the 12-week year, a year is now the equivalent of 12 weeks. A month is now a week, and a week is now a day. And I believe as entrepreneurs, we have to be intentional about a lot of things. If you listen to the episode, I'm not sure the number, but it was when I talked about toxic people and just being more intentional with my time. And in chapter 7 of his books, he talks about intentionality, the importance of being able to say yes and no. I was all over the place because I could not say yes to things that I knew that I needed to focus on and no to people that I needed to say no to. Everything you want to accomplish in life requires an investment of your time. So when you want to improve your results, you must face the fact that your supply of time is completely, it has to be perishable. You have to think about that when we're creating these goals and these dreams, our time. And he goes more in depth talking about this with being able to block your time. I truly like this method. As I stated, these are two of my favorite productivity books. 12-Week Year, we're talking about time blocking. And he states in the book, because I mentioned this actually at the Entrepreneur Summit, just being more aware of your time. He states that Benjamin Franklin said, if we take care of the minutes, the years will take care of themselves. And I always say, I got a little sidetracked, but I always say my time is like a toddler in a tiara. It's very short and precious. It's very short and precious. I can't get that back. So I can't afford to waste my time on certain things and certain people. So with the time blocking method, he has 3 different blocks that he suggests that you should use within your business. The first one is the strategic block. A strategic block is a 3-hour block of nobody's messing with you, a time schedule within your week. You don't accept any phone calls, no faxes, no emails, nothing. You're focused all your energy and time on money-making activities. Strategic time block is just focused on money-making activities. If your vision board had that mansion on there, that Rolex, for those 3 hours, you need to be focusing on those money-making activities. Money-making activities. No emails. Just things that you can do, that will help drive your business further to make more money in your business. Whether that might be you planning your email blast, you're sending out different emails to let people know of your upcoming courses, upcoming events that you're hosting, trying to get ticket sales in. During that time, you're just focused on making money within your business. Next, he say buffer blocks. Buffer blocks are designed to deal with an unplanned time and low value activities, like most email and voicemails that arise throughout the day. Buffer blocks. For some, 1 30-minute buffer block a day is sufficient. Some other people, you need a little bit more time. These are your unplanned and low value activities. These when you're focusing on those emails and voicemails. So you can't be focused on your money making time, strategic and emails. Nope. Sending back emails. Hey, no. Strategic time is money making. Buffer blocks is when you're focusing on emails and voicemails. The last one that he talks about is breakout blocks. One of the key factors contributing to performance plateaus is the absence of free time. So we get the opportunity to have time where we just don't do anything. Your breakout time is just an effective breakout block is at least 3 hours long spent on things other than work. So you get to have fun. If you are not in control of your time, you are not in control of your results. I'm going to say it for the people in the back that didn't hear. If you are not in control of your time, you are not in control of your results. We have to be more intentional with our time. Consider when you tend to be at your best. Are you a morning person or you're better in the afternoon or evening? You guys, that is so key for entrepreneurship. That is so key. That is so key to wealth and wellness. When are you at your best? Is it in the morning? Because sometimes after we've had a long, draining day at work, sometimes it's not best for us to be able to, work on our business in the evening. If you're a morning person, see how you can implement working on your business in the morning. If the evenings work better for you, work on your business in the evening. If the weekends are better for you, what time, what works best for you? Throughout this entire episode, I have gave you different strategies, different examples for you to decide what works best for you. What works best for you? Schedule your most important activities during your prime time. Schedule your most important activities during your prime time. What's your prime time? What's your prime time? So I'll go over it again. We need to time block. He suggests strategic blocks. Your strategic blocks are your money making time. Your buffer blocks when you're focusing on low level activities, things that you're not focused on your money making activities during this time. The last one is your breakout blocks, where you're just having time, where you're relaxing, you're decompressing, taking time for yourself. Because mental wellness, as you know, is very important. So those are the 3 things that I found that were very, very valuable. As I stated, you can pick up the book. It is a great, great book to use, especially at the beginning of the year where you're trying to get things done, accomplished. You're like, I am so sick and tired of getting up, starting a new year. I'm going to work on this. And then, as he stated, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, all that go by. And you're like, crap. This year is just like last year. The only way it's going to change is when we get sick and tired of our atmosphere. When we get sick and tired of these same things in our lives, myself included. The only way we be able to achieve results, we have to change our atmosphere. That also might entail changing the people that you hang around. Changing that. That's one of my goals for this year. As I am working on All Women Rock, is being able to truly get out and network and be surrounded by different women that can help, that I can help and that can add value to my brand. I want to be surrounded by millionaires and billionaires. That's my goal. In order for me to change, I have to change my atmosphere. And sitting up, cutting out pictures and glue and tape and putting it on a poster board does not work for me. I need a plan in place. There needs to be a plan in place. What plans do we have, sis? What are our plans for 2022? So let's do a brief recap. Now that we know looking at a pretty vision board daily does not work, what will we do instead? Keep your vision board if you need that, but I want you to have a plan in place. Make sure that your vision board get executed. What habits will you give up? How much time and energy will you give your business? How much are you putting in, sis? How much you putting in? How much are you willing to put in order to make your year not like last year? What are you willing to give up? That's what we need to focus on. So many of us, we start the new year, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to work on this. But what needs to go in order to move forward? What do we need to take off? Number 1, I gave you what was your preferred method to stay motivated. Is it music? Is it audio, podcast, videos? Think about that. 2 to 3 things. What gets your adrenaline going? What gets your adrenaline going? What business model structure do you love? If you don't have one, I suggest you find one as soon as possible. Matter of fact, do this. Go to your social media accounts. Delete 10 different pages that you are following that does not help you in any way, shape, fashion, whatever. Delete those 10. If it's just a bunch of mess, like a gossip page or something, delete them. Delete 10 of those and start replacing it with possibly your competitors or business influencers, whoever they may be that you aspire to be. Replace it with that. Change the algorithm up in your life. Change it up. Delete 10, replace it with 10 that keeps you going. Replace it. You're like, oh, competitors, that might not be productive for me. Sometimes looking at what your competitors are doing can be beneficial. That's going to help us get to the next level. Delete 10, replace it with 10. Now we're going to review our habits. Look at our habits. Go purchase Atomic Habits by James Clear. With our habits, we're becoming aware. What habits do we need to get rid of? What habits do we now need to implement? Our time, location, change your scenery, habit stack. Next, we talked about The 12-Week Year by Brian Moran. As I stated, the links to these books will be listed in the show notes. We talked about our strategic blocks, our buffer blocks, and our breakout blocks. So there you have it for episode 12 of Vision Board. Let go of the vision board. It's not making sense. Just putting it up. No, we're not in the third grade. We're not playing with poster boards anymore. We're going to actually put a plan in place to help us achieve success in our business. And I love you, ladies, and I will talk to you on next week.